And through a mechanized or like decarbonizing the built environment and renewable energy, measuring a gigaton scale impact is pretty easy. So with nature, it's a much more complex story. And I also want to preface this by saying carbon is the least bad metric that we have for measuring impact. It's just the one that is a single number that means a lot in terms of global climate change that people are willing to pay for, but it doesn't represent the final outcome that we really want to optimize for, which is biodiverse, ecological harmony, humans living with regenerative livelihoods, social equity, etc. So, saying that, it's still important and it's a useful metric. So, a billion tons of CO2 drawdown isn't just an opportunity cost where we're saying we're moving from coal into solar, but solar still has a pretty big carbon impact in the creation of the actual materials itself. So, how I'm prioritizing carbon removal is the physical removal of CO2 from the atmosphere into forests, soil, the built environment, or geological formation. And that is a very real accounting metric versus an opportunity cost metric, which is like offsetting other bad activities. And forests and photosynthesis do this really, really well. Turns out we've had billions of years of evolution to develop a highly efficient mechanism for turning sunlight into energy and carbon drawdown. So let's go use that technology. And we just need to let land do its thing. And it does it automatically and forms an incredible state of, if not like perfect equilibrium, at least like a band of equilibrium that's pretty suitable to human beings. And in order to do that, we need to do a few things to reach like gigaton scale impact. And this is millions of hectares of land that have been deforested, returning to native forest with agroforestry that's useful for ongoing regenerative livelihoods for indigenous peoples or local peoples in that area. The second is restoring arid landscapes like Australia, South Europe, the Western US, and building landscape level interventions that are very low tech, including swales, check dams, shallow injection wells to restore groundwater, to restore the local tiny water cycles on land that are really the foundation of life, the foundation of the possibility for photosynthesis to happen on that land. And another is avoided deforestation. So the tropical forests and temperate forests that we have, let's not cut those down. The temperate forests that are in relatively sustainable rotations for lumber, it's a trade-off, but it's sort of like we have to keep doing it because human beings need shelter, and maybe it's not the best outcome, but it's the one we're working with right now. Like EarthShot Labs, we're not recommending that human beings descale human activity because it's honestly just not a realistic recommendation. So we have to continue this sort of like economic engine that we're in, but in doing so, let's not destroy more.